Federal rate increases continued today, and Apple's doing something very interesting in the banking scene. We'll discuss that right here today on Pour Over Finance. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Pour Over Finance. I'm not going to hold you guys hostage for long. I'm just going to ask you to do me the favor, hit the like button so that this video gets more exposure. Hit the subscribe button if you like what we're doing here. And the notification bell will get you notified of when we upload this content. So, jumping right into this, today the Feds have increased by another 25 basis points, which brings us to 5.25% in terms of the interest rates here in the United States. I wanted to just play a little bit of what Mr. Jerome Powell had to say, and then we'll jump right in and start discussing a little bit of what this may mean overall. You know, it's interesting that this is all taking place, but let's hear Mr. Jerome Powell give us the bad news, so to speak.
Benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by a quarter percentage point. Since early last year, we've raised interest rates by a total of 5 percentage points in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time.
So, you heard it there yourself, folks. They have raised interest rates, I believe it was 10 consecutive times since 2022. And so far, we're at 5.25% in terms of these interest rate increases. The biggest concern here with these constant increases is what it's doing to the economy. Now, look, I understand. He needs to raise interest rates in order to cool inflation. And it's working because the last reports definitely show that the numbers are coming down. But in the interim, there's quite a bit of damage that's taking place. He actually even said in this meeting that he does expect that there may be a little bit of a recession. I don't know. Remember how he was previously saying that it would be a soft landing? Now he's actually saying, hey, there might be a bit of a recession taking place. But what was very interesting is that their wording throughout this meeting, and for those of you that are interested, I'll post a link to it so you can watch this entire thing. But the wording was very interesting because it does not appear that they're going to continue these interest rate hikes. What I'm expecting to happen and what every analyst and financial guru out there is expecting is that at this point, they're going to pause and then take a look to see how the economy does over time with 5.25% holding. And then maybe we may see a pivot towards the end of this year, maybe early 2024. We have no idea. But also in this meeting, he mentioned the fact that the banks, of course, they're having some problems. And he did mention that. However, it was almost as if he was mentioning that it wasn't due to these changes. He was saying that it was mainly due to bad management. We'll go ahead and play that video right now here for you.
Let me comment briefly on recent developments in the banking sector. Conditions in that sector have broadly improved since early March, and the U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. We will continue to monitor conditions in the sector. We're committed to learning the right lessons from this episode, and will work to prevent events like these from happening again.
So yeah, that's extremely interesting. He's mentioning what is going on with the banks. I mean, it's kind of weird because we just recently had a failed bank. He's talking about early March. Meanwhile, last week, First Republic went up. They went down, I should say, not up. And then this week, Chase bought out that bank. So I'm not really sure exactly what the long-term plan is. We won't know for quite some time. But as it stands right now, another 0.25 basis points have been added. And we'll go ahead and just read a little bit of what it's done in terms of the crypto market. Nothing really has happened. Today kind of remained flat. So in this article here, it says that Bitcoin, Ethereum were flat as the Fed issues their 10th consecutive interest rate hike. It's the last step in the U.S. central bank's fight to tame inflation, which, as I mentioned before, it is working. Further down the article, to cool an overheated economy and tame soaring prices, the Fed has now delivered a steady barrage of 10 consecutive interest rate hikes since March of 2022. That brings our current federal funds rate to 5.25%, which previously, before today, was at 5%. Further down in the article, while Bitcoin was slightly down prior to their move, it clawed back losses. Right now, we're sitting at 28,634. And then with Ethereum, it pushed that up a bit to 1,886 because for the most part, this rate increase was kind of priced in. This is kind of what everyone was expecting. So that's currently where we stand in regards to the crypto market and the increase of the federal funds rate. We'll have to really wait and see, but what's going on with the banking sector is extremely scary. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. As someone who has a little bit of money in the bank, I have nothing substantial, trust me. But the failing banks, even though I know everything is FDIC insured, still a little concerned. Like, can we take a look at what's going on here? Our economy is suffering as a result, but we continue to suffer with these high interest rates. So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. But with all of that said, there is an article that I wanted to jump right in here for you. And I don't know if this is a result of what's taking place in the market with the bank failures, or if it's just a situation in which people are trying to take advantage of a convenient way of transacting their money. But it says Apple reportedly attracted $1 billion in deposits into its new high-yield savings account in just 4 days. That is quite a large sum of money. It says Apple's high-yield saving account attracted as much as $990 million in deposits in the first 4 days of its launch, according to a report from Forbes. With more than 240,000 high-yielding saving accounts that have been opened in the first 4 days of launch, that represents just 0.2% of Apple's US iPhone users. There are about 120 million of them. While Apple's starting yield is 4.15, isn't the highest of the yielding accounts, it is something that Apple offers that a lot of these other banks don't. Convenience, at least convenience for iPhone users who already have an Apple Card, as the savings account is integrated into the Apple Wallet. How awesome is that? I mean, honestly, I don't know if I would trust Apple with my bank account, but apparently people are trusting Apple. And again, I'm personally not too sure. Is this purely for convenience? Is it because people aren't aware of the fact that, you can get higher yields other places? Is it due to the fact that there's a lot of trust being lost in the banking system? Or is this just simply iPhone users looking for convenience, trying to find a way to transact money? Hey, it's connected to your Apple Wallet. You've got your money there. Why not? I don't know. I find that to be clearly an interesting thing that's happening. I think people that are bought into the Apple ecosystem, they will always be a part of the Apple ecosystem. And as a result of that, I could see why they would trust Apple with their money, because it's like, hey, we trust them with everything else. They have our phone, they have our computer. I understand that side of it. I'm not an Apple guy. I'm an Android guy. So if I'll tell you right now, if Google were to open its own bank, I'm not putting my money in there. I'm just not. I just don't have that level of trust yet. However, I do trust banks that are taking my money and doing the wrong things with that money and then ultimately bankrupting themselves. So who the hell do you trust? I have no idea. In any case, guys, if you've gotten to this point of the video with us, I do want to thank you for spending your time here with us today. Like I said previously, please go ahead and hit the like button so that we can get some exposure. Hit the subscribe if you like what we're doing, and the notification bell will get you notified when we are uploading more of our content. Again, thank you guys for spending your time with me. I am Aaron. This is Pour Over Finance, and I want to say have a good evening. Peace.